Alright boys, welcome back. So Escanor is finally dropping tonight on Global, and normally at this point I would like to do a should you summon. However, it's Escanor, it's also the 5th anniversary. It's a no-brainer. It's not a matter of if you should be summoning. It's a before you summon, because everyone will be summoning. We're going to go over the character, the banner, if you don't know what it actually is. And also go over the next update, which is going to be part 2 towards Escanor, which shouldn't stop you from summoning. But I will say you might want to save some gems, because we do know Percival is going to be making his first appearance into Grand Cross. Which, if you lot have not been following the channel, obviously I cannot wait for, because I have been watching the anime. Or I watched a few episodes. I've read all the manga. I've been reading the manga weekly. So I am very much in love with all these characters going to be coming into the game for the next few years now. However, you may not be, which if it's kind of a good thing, because, well, one, the anime is sort of still airing. I mean, the Netflix hasn't finished releasing the final few episodes, basically, but we are going to be getting a story chapter, basically how we've been doing the last 17 chapters for the last 5 years now. They're going to be adapting the actual Four Knights Apocalypse chapters, so if you're someone who doesn't want to read it or doesn't even want to watch it, then at least you can experience the story in-game. And I always say I do prefer the story over Four Knights. And I always say, maybe because Seven Sins has built up so much lore and obviously background towards like the world, so getting into Four Knights, it felt so much better. It was more refreshing. If I keep talking, I'm going to talk too much about Four Knights, and I kind of don't want to do that. So let's just jump over towards the Twitter and see the new banner coming. All right, so here is the new banner. I mean, once again, this is almost perfect. I've been seeing my videos, but this would have been like a 20 out of 20 if they had managed to put in Gelder, or maybe even one of the 2 new characters we got earlier this year with the New Year's King or even the Valentine's Diane. But regardless, it's still a pretty good banner that I know people are missing a lot of these characters. For example, I mean, I know myself, I'm still missing Mael. There's going to be a few characters in the filler raid that people are going to be missing. I think I'm still missing Elaine, that new Valenti as well, where people might be missing Tristan, you know, the actual Liz, Summer Margaret, which is why she was actually the most voted one, even Roxy as well. And of course, as well, you don't mind duping out a few of these characters, like obviously T, who does going to give that unity link towards unknown characters. And of course, Roxy, which is going to give that unity towards actual humans that could go into Escanor to give an extra 10% attack rate stats. The festival lineup is almost as good as it gets. I mean, obviously, yeah, I think it is as good as it gets, right? Like, there's no way we're going to be getting Alpha, or obviously, go for on this banner, but the ones that we could get, I think this is perfect here. Escanor being the character, of course you want him. New Year's Melee, the first time he is returning, of course, people are going to go crazy for him. The new Elizabeth, which once again is a character that you may have picked up during November last year, but considering that it was right before New Year's Melee and we knew he was coming, you know, it was hard to say summon for her when but if you did summon for her, then of course you got her. But if you didn't, then now you can hopefully get her again. I don't mind putting a few dupes for her, even though the character it's probably not gonna be that usable unless we get a good new demon. Demon King, he's fallen off hard, I'm not gonna lie. I think especially now with Escanor being in the game, where you have literally death damage on a single target, you can bypass a damage cap, so his damage cap is not looking too scary now. But I guess that just comes down towards the demon teams. They're still using Esterosa. If they actually got another like OP demon, then they will be top of the top again, and probably will still be using the Demon King on the team. Hell is a character, once again, the same situation where she's still very good, but depends on the team. Right now I think unknowns are pretty good, but I think the Victoria team, you don't necessarily need to have a Hell on the team. But if you do want to use her, then you definitely can. And you're seeing every single time we get a good unknown in the game, she's always gonna be put on that team. Mayo, not usable at all, but hey, people don't have him, I don't have him, so I'm really hoping in my 2 rotations on this banner that I do pick him up. But then again, he's more of a PvE character, so it's what you expect here. Barn's good though. Barn, thank God he slipped in, because we didn't know if the guy was gonna be in the banner or not. But he is a character that is one of the best human supporters, and also one of the best sim buffers. So the fact that you can use him or get him and use him on both Escanor teams, whether you want to go down the route of using 4 sins or use 4 humans, it is a very good character to pull alongside Escanor, and one that you want to get duped out. I think I put him once, so I wouldn't mind getting a few dupes. Ultimate Escanor is fair enough. We're getting a free copy of him actually, so it would be nice to get him duped out for like Heroes Arena. That's basically it, honestly. And yeah, I guess the only unfortunate part is that people may pull this one thinking it is the actual other Ultimate Escanor when it is in fact not going to be him. So that's the only bad thing. Here are the character skills. I still want to wait for the English one because it's still roughly translated here, but you can kind of read it for yourself here. Just some key points that we want to talk about quickly towards the character is that, one, the character does have a grace. However, the grace, as you can see, is just increased maximum HP and crit defense, meaning you still can be crit, it's just not going to do as much damage. It's not a bad grace. Plus, remember, the guy has got got really good CC. It's a UR character, so having a maxed out dupe Escanor on your association is going to give your natural character just more stats entirely, and you literally get a bit of a benefit of having the male grace. I'd say a good thing, it's not like super broken like how we have like obviously Tamio Grace, but hey, it's a little buff that you can use while getting good stats anyway, so you definitely don't mind it, but not one that you need to chase towards 6-6, which is always something that I find weird in that marble. Like, we've had 2 Festival Graces so far, and arguably they've been the worst, at least in comparison towards obviously the Tamio Grace, which was a 600 damage character, and one that you could get relatively easy, right? I will say for the passive, the character can only work with Sins and also humans, so you want to mostly use them on them teams. I'd say mostly going to be Sins, because you can use Gopher, who also buffs up Sins as well. But also as well, he is kind of our third in a very long time. Like, we don't really do this too often, but a suicide character, like how we've got in Fraudrin and also the Blue Elizabeth, where when the character dies, they get massive buffs. Now, thankfully, they haven't drastically made the character just about dying, so he will just be kept at level 1. But yeah, when the character does die, he is going to give the buff he gives to himself, which is going to be the actual Burning Sun onto his allies. So he's going to go towards Gopher, or like, you know, melee, which is going to increase their single target damage by an extra 5%. So yeah, that's basically what the character is. He's got a single target skill that is reverse flood, but also flood. So it doesn't matter if you have high HP or low HP, you're still doing more damage, but you do more damage the higher HP you are. You can see it is 1.2% for every marine HP, which is obviously a lot better than the 1% decreased HP. Also, it does deal death damage on a single target. So if you deal damage, it's then going to deal damage again, which means it does bypasses the ultimate Escanor's actual damage cap at 50% of max HP at the start of battle. Obviously, Demon King 2, if the character does kill someone, then the death damage will go into a random target. So yeah, boys, we've come a long way from the one Escanor that had death damage on an ultimate. Now we have it on a single target skill. That just shows how much the game has changed in the last like 4 years. The AoE skill is decent. It's just going to deal damage that ignores the enemy's resistance and also defense as well. So it's not a bad skill. It does do okay damage. It's not like where it really does like one shot a team. But you got to remember, you're going to be using Gopher alongside of him. You're meant to, I believe it is. So they I feel like they kind of purposely kept it a bit weaker just because you're going to be using rank up a lot of times. Alright, so the ultimate, once again, is a bit of a tricky one because it does have what I hate in this game, where it has a passive towards the ultimate, meaning the character, you want to get duped out to make the character better, but you can see what the actual ultimate does do, and it is it does a lot, but I think the only bad part is the damage, I think. Like, if you look at like people using the ultimate Escanor, especially with like a Gelder, for example, if she built up a passive, it just doesn't kill on like 4-6, 5-3-6. So you really want to get to like 4, 5, 6, 6 even, to where it can one-shot people. But then again, I'm not like super gun-ho on maxing out every Festival character, because most of the time, especially where the game's gone now, is a lot of the games end without even getting ultimate. The only way you get ultimate is if you're playing like a stall team, if you're stalling, or maybe of course you get lucky and get the RNG where you got the mergers by like turn 2 or turn 3. But yeah, typically, especially with melee on the team, obviously if someone dies, of course, it's a lot different. But yeah, most of the time you're just gonna be rushing ultimate. I mean, I play Fatura, which I know is a lot different, and even like Chaos Arthur, but you rarely get to use their ultimates, and I think it's going to be the same situation for Escanor. It's just better to have it, but I don't think necessarily needed. At least in comparison towards the last ultimate Escanor. The last ultimate Escanor, it completely changed the character how he worked, with the fact that you only had one final flame. So, yeah, that is Escanor. So yeah, boys, that is going to wrap up today's video. Very, very excited to be summoning. We're definitely going to be doing summons and showcasing the character tomorrow. Cannot wait just to get my hands on Skinny Escanor, even though it's not Skinny Escanor. But I'm also excited to see what's going to be coming out in about a week and a half now on JP, because we do know Fall Nights is going to be coming, and this is something I'm really looking forward to. So, boys, I'm not saying save some gems, but at least know that Fall Nights is coming, and this is something that I think most people should be excited about. So, personally, save some gems. Right now, obviously, I plan to do 2 rotations, but I'm going to make sure to save hopefully around 600 gems left over to hopefully save enough diamonds to summon on that banner. Maybe even do 2 rotations, because it's going to be the first Parsifal. I'm going to want to get him out, and if he is unknown character, the buff's unknown, like that way, then I'm definitely going to use him. So, boys, thank you for watching. Let me know how much gems you lot are going to be summoning on this banner. Are you going to go crazy? I'm assuming most people have been, because this is what everyone should have been saving for like the last I say same form, but we had Gelda, Arthur, you know, the Shiryu collaboration, even like some actual other like decent summons like Valenti, Gopher in between the last festival. Yeah, people might not have a lot of diamonds, but if you do, boys, then let me know in the comments down below. And if you watch this video after one of the guys out, then good luck on your summons. And yeah, peace.